Okay, guys, we need to talk, and we need to talk seriously. I haven't got a script, so we'll be jumping from topic to topic, but you're going to want to listen to every single word I say and think about them. The background: something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Hamlet. If you know the plot, it's about regicide, betrayal, corruption. And there's something rotten in the state of advanced UK. I'm getting correspondence from two separate factions within advanced UK. Those who would support the king and those who would depose him. I'm not against regicide. If someone thinks they would make a better king and gets rid of the old one, and he is a better king, then fine. But one thing I won't do is, if I have an enemy, I won't stab him in the back. I've been stabbed in the back too many times myself by people I thought were friends and patriots. It hurts. I've got the receipts to prove it. I might have to drag them out at some point and just show you the kind of lies people will use to discredit you. Let me show you an image, if I can. There. I don't know if you can read it. Up at the top, talks about me. It's I think Google AI. What does it say? Paul Morris, a prominent figure associated with the British National Party, BNP, was linked to the far-right blog The Green Arrow. This was a search from about 2009, 2010, so there's no mention of all the other sites, which served as a platform for BNP supporters after the party's official website forum was closed. It gave sources. Morris, known for his authoritarian tone and staunch loyalty to Nick Griffin, was described in anti-fascist circles as a controversial and volatile figure, even accused of drunken outbursts and domestic disputes. Well, it's true, I was totally loyal. Drunken outbursts? No. Domestic disputes? Never. Never once in my life have I laid a hand on a woman. I respect women, but you know how the left lies. But they're the so-called patriots in the movement, our movement, nationalist movement, who, just like the communists, they believe the end justifies the means to destroy their enemies, so they will lie about them. Yeah, I'm not that kind of nationalist. I'm a British nationalist, a national socialist who believes that his word is his bond. I took a vow years ago to only speak the truth, and I'm speaking the truth to you now. Not the truth I believe, but the truth. Now you can either listen to me or not. 1 second, got a message coming in. Getting a lot. Sorry about that. Where were we? My loyalties lie to the cause. Not just one political party, but the cause, which is my country. I loathe internal party politics. People scrabbling for power for different reasons. Greed, ego, whatever. I loathe it. I see Advance UK as our only hope. And Ben needs to get it sorted out sooner rather than later. One side is telling me that, oh, the party is finished. Members are leaving in droves. Members are leaving in droves, and the party's finished. They tell me that the reason that emails aren't being answered is because the infrastructure within has been destroyed. It looks that way, doesn't it, if you've been trying to contact them? Were they bad agents from the start? I don't know. But that needs to be sorted out, and sorted out soon. The other side is telling me that everything is tickety-boo and fine. Let's have a look at what Habib says, shall we? The man who started the party, the reluctant hero in all of this. Okay, let's have a look at Habib, leader of Advance UK. Proud of his language, history, empire, heritage, national heroes, national identity, values. Check. Right. Now, this is important. Habib, every single British politician named in the Epstein files, every single one should be investigated. No exceptions. Epstein was not just a disgusting paedophile. He was using sex, money and favours to influence British politicians. Big money combined with big power. Any British politician named in the files has done wrong. I agree. But it's not just every single politician named in the Epstein files, like Mandelson, needs to be investigated. Every single member of Parliament who belongs to the Friends of Israel should be investigated. I showed you a video the other day of a meeting in Parliament where, without exception, every single person on that committee, when asked to declare their interests, declared themselves to be Friends of Israel or members of the Board of Deputies of British Jews. They seem more concerned about representing a foreign country. I hope that on the 7th of this month, Habib addresses that problem. It's been an open secret for decades, for as long as I've been campaigning for the British people who've really controlled our Parliament. And now, thanks to the Epstein files, you know how they control our Parliament. Have a look at my previous video where I talk about Peter Mandelson in 2009. Anyhow, let's carry on and see what Ben is saying. Starmer has demanded Mandelson gives up his peerage, but once I agree with the PM, so should Keir Starmer have to resign. Yeah, the Chagos deal, all these bad things happening, Ukrainian rent boys, yeah. We know who's pulling his strings, and those strings reach all the way to the Middle East. He appointed Mandelson ambassador to the US against the advice of MI5. He already knew Mandelson to be a sickening corrupt viper. Whether Donald Trump is trying to clear out his house, I had my doubts about him when I saw him banging his head against that wall in the Middle East. Perhaps he's playing a deeper game. He saw what happened to JFK, didn't he? I don't know. There's still hope for Donald Trump. Then Habib, Reform want to shut Advance UK out. Right. This is what I wanted you to see. This is by Kira Des. It's absolute bollocks. This is why many of us have taken to Ben Habib's for his no-nonsense answers to simple questions. It's so refreshing. Ben rubbishes rumours on today's Outspoken put to him by Dan Watton that Advance UK has been losing members. Now, don't forget, I've told you that information has come into me that's saying that we are losing members. Yeah. Now, one thing I will never do, I will never betray my sources, no matter how much I disagree with them. If anybody sends me anything, it's in confidence, yeah? I'll never reveal their names. If you have anything you think I should know, then tell me in the comments. Or send me an email. Use a burner account to keep your privacy secret. I wouldn't betray you, ever. But some would, and it's always better to be safe than sorry. Let's have a listen to what Ben says.
Over the weekend, and we will continue to go up. This is reform.
Has anyone been quitting over this?
No, we have had 60 new members since we announced Nick Buckley as candidate. It's absolute bollocks, using a professional term, to describe this nonsense that people are putting out. But this is reform.
So 25% of the membership has not
Absolutely. No, we've gone up in membership. We've gone up in membership over the weekend, and we will continue to go up. This is reform attack dogs put onto us by Farage.
Has anyone been quitting?
Okay. So who am I to believe, guys? Are the members quitting in droves? We know there's a problem with the infrastructure, but that happens with all new parties. But that can be sorted out. Or do you believe, Ben, that everything is fine? Well, I'm loyal to the cause, and I'm loyal to the king. If the king wants to step down, fine. I'll follow his successor if I think he's up to the job. Now we go on who to follow. Yeah. This was 16 hours ago. Let's have a listen to what he says here. I haven't listened to this.
During the course of January, we've taken a number of councillors, people whom I campaigned with, whom I knew very well before Farage came back as leader of Reform. People who, in my mind, are salt of the earth, true reformers, not the sort that Farage has now infected the party with. And they're leaving Reform UK and joining us in droves. And Reform therefore know that we pose an electoral threat to them. And I also happen to know that Farage and senior members of Reform have set their attack dogs on advance. All that social media attacks on us that took place was under instruction from the very top people in Reform. They don't want us to get traction. During the course of January, we've taken a number of councillors.
Okay. I know, I can confirm that Reform councillors are joining Advance UK. So that's another tick box for the king. You know, one of the ways I find out something that makes me either trust or distrust a person is their support for Israel. If they come out and they are Zionists and they support Israel, then already that, for me, that's a red flag waving, yeah? Because it's clear to me they don't have an understanding of how the world, either how the way the world works, or they are controlled opposition, yeah? Think on that. If they were Zionists, there's a question mark by them. Now, let's talk about the coming by-election. Don't worry, I'm reaching the end of the video. Let's talk about the coming by-election on, what is it, the 27th? 26th of February. This is an ideal opportunity for Advance UK. Yeah, I'm hoping that on the 7th of this month at the event, I almost let it slip. Advance needs to tighten up on the security. The location of the event is already known and out there on the internet because of one person in a podcast let it slip. I'm not saying it was let slip purposefully, but he let it slip where the location was. So you can expect company there for those attending. But what I'm hoping is that on the 7th of February, Ben will announce a day of action for Advance UK in Gorton and Denton to support Nick Buckley, MBE. Now, I told you right at the start, when I started this channel, I wouldn't accept donations. I wouldn't ask you to buy me a coffee. And I wouldn't ask you to join as a member. All those things cost you money. I say to you now, and I say this to any plastic patriots out there who are making very good living by being a patriot. Yeah? If you want to help this country, do what I'm going to say now. If you're a subscriber of this channel and you want to support me, I'll tell you how to do it now. Donate money to Advance UK. Donate it to a charity looks after British nationalists in prison. Donate it to anyone. But don't give it to plastic patriots. Yeah? And I say this to you, Nick Buckley. You're a good man and a good candidate. People shouldn't have to pay to hear your message. You should want to get the message out for free. Okay, I guess that's all I've got. Oops, before I go, I forgot to say this. I've contacted Richie and Rogue to ask if they'll be campaigning at the by-election. I said, without revealing too much, I basically said that I thought it would be very good optics if Richard was to be seen campaigning there. Rogue isn't very well, I'm sorry to say, and there's also other things happening in her life. I wouldn't expect Rogue to travel to Manchester. I don't think she could. I don't think she should, knowing what I know about what is happening in her life. But there's no reason why Richard shouldn't be there. Okay, that really is a wrap now. Oh, their reply. Will Richard be there? He doesn't know.